set down, lest child of mine, or grandchild, dare to make one on my premises. If he does, I shall know the mark at once, and score it well upon him. The scholar obtains, by prayer or price, a handful of saltpetre, and then, with the knife wherewith he should rather be trying to mend his pens, what does he do but scoop a hole where the desk is, some 3 inches thick. This hole should be left with the middle exalted, and the circumference dug more deeply. Then let him fill it with saltpetre, all save a little space in the midst, where the boss of the wood is. Upon that boss, and it will be the better if a splinter of timber rise upward, he sticks the end of his candle of tallow, or rat's tail, as we called it, kindled and burning smoothly. Anon, as he reads by that light his lesson, lifting his eyes, now and then it may be, the fire of the candle lays hold of the petre with a spluttering noise and a leaping. Then should the pupil seize his pen, and, regardless of the nib, stir bravely, and he will see a glow, as of burning mountains, and a rich smoke and sparks going merrily. Nor will it cease if he stir wisely, and there be a good store of petre, until the wood is devoured through, like the sinking of a well shaft. Now well may it go with the head of a boy intent upon his primer, who betides to sit thereunder. But above all things, have good care to exercise this art before the master strides up to his desk in the early grey of the morning. Other customs, no less worthy, abide in the school of Blundell, such as the singeing of nightcaps, but though they have a pleasant savour and refreshing to think of, I may not stop to note them, unless it be that goodly one at the incoming of a flood. The schoolhouse stands beside a stream, not very large, called Lowman, which flows into the broad river of Exe, about a mile below. This Lowman stream, although it be not fond of brawl and violence, in the manner of our Lynn, yet is wont to flood into a mighty head of waters when the storms of rain provoke it, and most of all, when its little co-mate, called the Taunton Brook, where I have plugged the very best cresses that ever man put salt on, comes foaming down like a great roan horse, and rears at the leap of the hedgerows. Then are the grey stone walls of Blundell on every side encompassed, the vale is spread over with looping waters, and it is a hard thing for the day-boys to get home to their suppers. And in that time old Cop, the porter, so called because he hath copper boots to keep the wet from his stomach, and a nose of copper also, in right of other waters. His place is to stand at the gate, attending to the floodboards grooved into one another, and so to watch the torrents rise and not be washed away, if it please God he may help it. But long ere the flood hath attained this height, and while it is only waxing, certain boys of deputy will watch at the stoop of the drain-holes, and be apt to look outside the walls when Cop is taking a cordial. And in the very front of the gate, just without the archway, where the ground is paved most handsomely, you may see in copy letters done a great P.B. of white pebbles. Now, it is the custom, and the law, that when the invading waters, either fluxing along the wall from below the road bridge, or pouring sharply across the meadows from a cut called Owen's Ditch, and I myself have seen it come both ways, upon the very instant when the waxing element lips, though it be but a single pebble of the founder's letters, it is in the licence of any boy, so ever small and undoctrined, to rush into the great schoolrooms where a score of masters sit heavily and scream at the top of his voice, "P.B." Then, with a yell, the boys leap up or break away from their standing. They toss their caps to the black-beamed roof, and haply the very books after them, and the great boys vex no more the small ones, and the small ones stick up to the great ones. One with another hard they go, to see the gain of the waters, and the tribulation of Cop, and are prone to kick the day-boys out with words of scanty compliment. Then the masters look at one another, having no class to look to, and, boys being no more left to watch, in a manner they put their mouths up. With a spirited bang, they close their books, and make invitation the one to the other for pipes and foreign cordials, recommending the chance of the time and the comfort away from cold water. But lo, I am dwelling on little things, and the pigeons...